Uh-oh. Oh. Uh-oh. Did you get Bubba's glasses? Did you get Bubba's glasses? Yeah, you got him. Three quick updates in this video. First, the layout change in the house. We tried something a little different. The surgery outcome from the last, from Caden's surgery on the 21st and 22nd, how everything went. And 3, the plan for next week to get him a cuff trach and why we're doing that. Where are we going?
To the train.
Which way?
That way.
That way. Okie dokie. What do you think? Do you want to go sit on the train?
Yeah.
Yeah. 1. Layout of the house. So if you'll remember previously, this is our family room space. This is where Caden used to be. This is where our seating area used to be. So we had 2 couches facing each other here. You can see now it's transformed into a play area for Avery. And now Caden, we've moved him into the living room. He's napping right now, so we'll try to be quiet. We found the issue was when we were trying to, when we were eating in the dining room, in the dining space, it was awkward to have to run back to care for Caden in the family room area. And so now having Caden in this space makes it much easier for us to spend time at the dining table while he's right there. And our seating area has moved as well over here. And this room, I think we just like this room better. There's a lot better light on this end of the house. And so we've been really enjoying our new setup with Caden here. You want Baba to sit where?
Yeah.
Okay.
And we'll go up the train and make some pancakes.
Oh, okay, we can make some pancakes. Let's go. The reason I'm whispering a little bit now is because Caden has been hearing a lot better since his surgery just before Christmas. So he had 3 procedures done at the time. He had tubes put into his ears. He had his Achilles tendon released, and he had his trach upsized. The tubes in his ears have worked out amazingly well. He can definitely hear a lot better all of a sudden, which means unfortunately we have to be a lot more quiet around him when he's napping and sleeping. The second thing Caden had done was he had the Achilles tendons on the back of both feet released. His feet were kind of pointed down like this, making it hard for him to get into a normal foot posture, and so by releasing that tendon, it allows his foot, and we've seen after the surgery, his foot is a lot more, there's a lot more mobility there in that joint. He currently has these boots on to hold the foot in that position so that it doesn't tighten up again. The third procedure Caden had done was an upsize of the trach tube that he has inserted. So this is what you see from Caden. From the outside, you see the outer part of this trach. This is a doll that we made for Avery so that he can get a better understanding of what a trach is. What's actually inside Caden is this tube, and because and ever since he's been home, we found that mucus and saliva has been seeping down past the end of this because as he's grown, his airway has gotten bigger, and now it allows more space around it, and so mucus and saliva can seep down past here, and once it gets to this end, it's something he coughs back up through the trach kind of, and so that's why he's been stuck on a ventilator for the most part, because by keeping a ventilator pushing air through here, we can keep those secretions from moving up through here. One of the ways we could prevent him from being on the ventilator all day was to increase the size of this trach tube so that it would take up more of the space within the airway. So instead of something this size, he's got something this size inside him now. And unfortunately, we found that it hasn't helped in terms of how long he can come off the vent. Prior to having his trach upsized, he was able to come off the vent for something like 5 minutes at a time, and now he's able to come off maybe for 10 minutes. Still not what it's still not ideal. Previous to that, before he came home, he was coming off the vent for most of the day. He could come off for 2 or 3 hours at a time, and really didn't need the ventilator during the day at all. There you go. Did it get stuck to your mitt? Okay. You can press it. The next step is to try a different type of trach. So this, instead of a trach that has just a simple tube, it's to put in a trach that has a little air bubble in it. It's called a cuffed trach, which essentially allows for this to seal more of the space around his airway. And we're hoping that that will prevent saliva and mucus from seeping down past the end of this trach tube. So that brings us to the third point that we wanted to update you on, which is he's scheduled to have a cuff trach put in on Monday at Sick Kids at 11 o'clock in the morning, and then he's been booked to be admitted to Bloorview for a couple of nights while the ventilator team watches him and tries to adjust all of his vent settings based on this new trach tube. So we're very hopeful that this step will allow him to come off the vent for longer periods of time. A fourth bonus update point for Caden is that he's got a couple of teeth coming out. I don't know if Tanya already updated that on the blog or not, but there they are. Yeah, you good teeth. Look at him. Like this. Hey, bud. I can't get talking.